Okay, so the first bug that we want to fix is if we refresh the page, you'll notice that it gives us a giant error and everything kind of disappears. The reason for this is actually extremely simple. If we go back to our minigame list, you're going to notice our multiplying invaders card. Now, if we click that, it's going to send the minigame to our minigame player. But once we refresh the page, minigame player no longer has access to what was sent to it because when you refresh the page, all of that stuff is deleted. So what we're going to do is when we click our card, it's going to send our minigame into our player, but then it's also going to store the minigame in local storage. So it's going to store its minigame ID and other information in local storage, which is something that you can access after you refresh the page. And then when we refresh the page, it's going to say, if our minigame doesn't exist, then grab it from local storage. So that's what we're going to work on now. So I actually found the local storage stuff right here. So this is how you set an item. So we're going to go to our code and we're going to say if this dot minigame does not equal null and this dot minigame does not equal undefined, then we are going to call local storage dot remove item last minigame. And this is right now going to equal nothing because we haven't stored anything, but it's basically we want to remove the item so that we can add it again. So it's sort of like replacing the last minigame that was set. So then we're going to do the exact same thing here. So remove item last minigame and then set item, and we're going to turn our minigame object into a string, similar to how we did it with our high scores when we sent those to Unity. So if our minigame equals nothing, then grab it from local storage. Now, if our minigame does not equal null, or if our minigame does equal null, sorry, then we're going to grab it from local storage. So we're going to say this dot minigame equals json.parse local storage.get item last minigame. Sorry if you hear scratching, my cat is tearing apart a box in front of me. And then we will not remove it as it is here because we want to keep it there for now. So there is going to be a slight bug. So if our minigame isn't null, so we got it from the last page, we're setting our local storage. And then if it is null, we're going to grab it from our local storage. But there's still a scenario where what if we don't have any local storage? So what if somebody types in the URL to our minigame and never sets the local storage? We're going to say if this.minigame, actually I wonder if you can check if local storage item exists. Angular, check if local storage exists. Okay, so we are going to say if local storage.get item last minigame equals null, else set our minigame. So if it equals null, we are going to, in the future, change our page back to the main page. So here we have if minigame does not equal null, then set our local storage to hold it for when we refresh. Else we have refreshed the page, grab our minigame from local storage. Then we're going to say local storage does not contain our game. Redirect user back to minigame page. And then local storage does contain our game. So we are going to set our minigame. Okay. So now if we go back to our minigame list, hopefully this works. I've only used local storage once or twice, so kind of just taking Stack Overflow's word for it here. If we refresh our page, let's see what happens. Is it going to, okay, so yeah, wow. Thanks, Stack Overflow. So it stores our minigame information in our local storage, and then it's able to grab it easily. So that is awesome. Now, what if we're logged in? One thing I'm worried about is that it won't be able to grab our login info in time. So we are going to refresh the page now while we're logged in and see what happens. Okay, so this is a problem because it took too long for us to log in. So I'm logged in under column BL right now, but it does not know that because it loaded the Unity game before we were able to log in, which wouldn't happen if we came from the last page because we would have been logged in already on the last page. So now what we have to do is not start our game until we know that we're logged in or logged out. So to fix this issue, it's actually pretty easy. Right now we're starting the game after the page loads, but we're also updating our user automatically from this user observable. But both of those things are happening separately. So we could get our user before the game loads. We could load our game before the user. We don't want to do that. We want to know if our user is logged in or logged out and then load our game in that order, and it has to be in that order. So we know that if our user is logged in or logged out, once we get that information, we know the page is already loaded. So we can actually get rid of this ng after view init and change this to a function called setup. And then we are going to have a variable called setup equal to false and first user check equal to false. Okay, so I'm gonna try and explain this as well as possible. This observable gets called immediately to say that the user is not logged in, because when we first load the page, the user technically is not logged in. Firebase has to figure out whether we're logged in and then send us a message to let us know. So there's one message that immediately says we're not logged in, and then Firebase sends us another message that says whether we are actually logged in or not. Because remember, we have to get this stuff through the internet, so it's not loaded right away. So the first user check will always be that we're not logged in because we haven't made that communication with Firebase yet. So if our user is null on our first call, that doesn't actually dictate whether they're logged in or not, because it's just not accurate. You have to wait. So we're going to say if first user check equals true, then we're just going to set this dot first user check equal to false. Otherwise, else if called setup equals false, then we're just going to say this dot called setup equals true, and we're going to call this dot setup. So that's a little bit weird, but basically the first time this function gets called, we're just going to say, is this the first time this function was called? If so, this is no longer the first check, and then don't do anything else, because remember, the first one will always return that we're not logged in whether we are or not. And then the second time that it calls it, when we actually get that information back from Firebase, we're going to say, have we called setup before? If we have not, then we're going to call our setup function. And then we want to set this dot called setup equals true so that we don't call our setup function again if the user logs in or logs out. So now if we refresh our page, ideally it will be working. Okay, so we're getting a bug. I'm going to refresh and see. Okay, so Let's see. Cannot read property scores of undefined. Minigame player, line 107. So now we have another problem where our user is logging in. It's registering their login before we're able to grab our minigame from Firebase. So we are saying that our user is logged in and then calling Unity start game before we've even grabbed our minigame. So our minigame is still null. And we run into really complicated issues like this when things are happening asynchronously. So we have to sort of define an order. So what I think would work best is we determine if we're logged in, and then we get our minigame, and then we do everything else. So we are going to have a function called getMinigame. And this is going to return new promise, resolve reject. Okay. And then we are going to put all this code inside of it. So if our minigame does not equal null, we set our local storage as usual. But then we're also going to say, okay, we've gotten our minigame now. Resolve this.minigame. And then if we have to get our minigame from local storage, after we get that, then we're going to say, okay, we have our minigame now. This.minigame. So now in our setup function, we can call this.getMinigame .then, and then 2 pairs of brackets, and then an arrow. So make sure it looks just like that. Open a function, and then drop all of this code inside of it. Okay, now I want to go over that, but I also want to make sure it works first. So we're going to refresh our page. Okay, so that worked. Now what happens if we log in and then refresh our page? So I've been staring at this for like a half an hour, trying to figure out where I messed up the order to cause it to not know that we're logged in right now, even though we did it in the right order. But then I realized, remember how we did this first user check, which basically makes the first call not work so that we know whether we're logged in or not? Well, I forgot to set it to true by default. So we need to do that. So the first check, it will completely ignore if it equals true, and then it will set it to false. And then it will start registering every login check after that. Because again, the first login will always say false because it has to ask Firebase afterwards whether we're logged in or not. So you are going to notice now that we log in and everything seems to be consistently working. So we can go back to our first page and we can be logged out and we can click this minigame page. Okay, so I know I said everything was consistently working, but it looks like it is not consistently working. So it looks like there is a bug if we click our card and we're not logged in. So let's log in and make sure that that is in fact the case. We're just going to try and replicate that bug. Okay, so it actually doesn't matter that we're logged in. It's simply clicking the card that doesn't work. Interesting. So I wonder if we made a mistake somewhere in our local storage area. Right now, so when we get our minigame from our route data service, let's check what our minigame is. So let's do console.log our minigame and this.minigame, because it did seem to be working when we were refreshing the page. It is when we, what if we refresh the page after? Okay, so it does work when we refresh the page after. What about now? we click this, are we going to get that console.log? So we aren't even getting the result or our minigame. So we're actually going to move it to up here. And then we're going to try doing the exact same thing again. So we'll click it and see what it gets logged as. Okay, that's strange. So it doesn't look like it's even calling this page. So I figured out the problem. Basically, right now, we are only calling our setup when our user observable changes. So when the user logs in or logs out. But right now, our user is logged in. But this does not get fired off because we aren't on the minigame player page, we're on the minigame list page. If we click here now, it still doesn't get fired off because the user hasn't logged in or logged out. So on init, what we're going to do is we're going to say if this dot route data service dot get data does not equal null, then we are going to call this dot setup. And then we'll set this dot called setup equal to true. So basically, if we come from another page and we already know whether we're logged in or not, we will automatically set up our game. Otherwise, we're going to do it when we know if we're logged in on refresh. So hopefully that fixes that problem. Okay, is it going to register who we are? It does. Okay, so that is amazing. We have figured it out together. So this is where I want to sort of give you guys the ability to build whatever you want. So we are actually done coding the website right now. So in the future, you're going to be able to add new games using the exact same process that we did to add this one. Just as a recap, I guess, we had to add this folder, and then we had to create a minigame in the database with the ID and the information that would populate this card. And then in our index.html, we have to make sure that we add both of these scripts. So if you add a new game, you would just copy and paste this and add the new ID. So you're going to be able to do a bunch of things. You can make like overall leaderboards or something. Maybe you have a page that displays all of your scores. You can do whatever you want. But for now, this is actually going to be working. And we are going to have another course where I'm going to show you guys how to actually make the video game. So the multiplying invaders, but we're going to do a different game. And then you can add it to this. So both courses will be like linked together. And once I create that second minigame too, I will come back and update this course and show myself re-adding the second minigame just as a refresher, because I know there's a lot to take in when it comes to this stuff. So we will have that second minigame, but we aren't completely done, because even though we're done coding the website, I did promise that I was going to show you how to actually host the website online yourselves. So what we're going to do is host our website for free.